Welcome to Storycomic Presents, where we interview amazing storytellers and artists. This is episode 126. I'm your host of Barney Smith of storycomic.com, and we're excited to have with us the internationally acclaimed and talented comic creator and founder of Peda Entertainment, Peter Chizoba Daniel. Peter.
Thank you so much, man. I'm highly honored to be here. And the way you say it's like I've won like 10 Grammy awards. Please, I'm just
So Peter, we talked about it. It's the equivalent. It's you took the first two letters of your first name and last name, P-E and D-A, to make Peda Entertainment. Peda, yeah.
You feel it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's actually a long story though, but I don't need to go into that right now. But yeah, it's Peda.
Okay.
Peda Daniel, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So we want to talk about, we got tons of stuff we're going to try to cram into this interview, but you also just launched your Kickstarter was launched today.
No, it was yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was on Sunday.
And you've already got 56 backers. Mm-hmm. You're already about halfway to your goal within the first 2 days.
Yeah.
That's amazing. We're going to talk more about this, but let's first kind of for our listeners and our viewers, just to kind of get an idea of who Peter is, how you created your company, and what are some of your flagship titles that you have as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So, okay, what's the first question? What's the first?
How you got started into making comics?
Okay, into comics. Okay. I've been making comics as a kid. Drawing comics. Because I like to draw.
Right.
And I didn't even know that it was anything called talent until I got older, and I realized that okay, everyone has a gift to do something, whatever it is. But I knew mine was a gift later because I realized I never learned how to draw. I never practice. Oh, let me practice, or let me go to school for it. I just knew what to do when I get the paper and pen. Just draw, So, but I didn't focus on that for years. Life, go to school, do other stuff. So it was later because I now realized I love telling stories. I'm a storyteller. But now, telling stories is not just making movies and cartoons and comics. Telling stories is everything you do, like in brand design, in building a website or whatever. You're actually telling a story. You understand? Because you're making people understand what you're doing. It's a form of storytelling. So it encompasses everything that I do. So, but as growing up, as between the 90s and the 2000s, I watched a lot of cartoons, and most of the cartoons came in the 80s. Yeah. The good ones, the great ones. Then they now went all the way to the 90s. Ninja Turtles and all that. And I loved all that. Superman, Batman, Spider-Man. But there was but the thing that you don't still see yourself in these things, and is this natural yearning to see yourself in these characters or whatever, something like that. So, but that still went by. But when I now realized that I love storytelling, then I started working on to create a story that was African based, that was based off of cultures. First of all, I want to tell a story about my people, which is the Igbo people,
right,
West Africa. Yeah, because then I did a lot of research, a little about Amadioha. Even Amadioha, yes, is the god of thunder, but there are other stories of the people, and I was intrigued by Things Fall Apart. I'm sure you know it, right? By Chinwe Achebe. Yeah, God's rest his soul, the great man. He did the story. And when I saw how he watched this, I'm sure I wasn't going to watch it at the time, but it was amazing seeing the Igbos. That's how they they exist, how they on TV. So that kind of sparked my how do I put it, my quest to tell stories, in my own way. So when I did my research about my people, but in that process, I was now seeing other cultures, So I was not saying, wow, there's a vast knowledge of different stories that people don't even know around the world. And we see a lot of stories coming from Asia, from Europe, epic battles, and we love epic stories from Japan, from samurais, and Vikings. I loved all those things, but I wanted to see an African warriors on the big screen as well, and see these things in comics and even video games. So I said, okay, oh, I could draw. Let me start by drawing, Let me start creating them. So I started to tell the story by doing a comic.
Right.
Now I was much older now, so I had to start. So it was the easiest way for me to start telling the story. So I started to make the Chronicles of the Newborn, Rise of the Lazy, because the Lazy it means guardians in Swahili. So that kind of brings different gives me an opportunity to create a platform where I can get different characters in one universe, and that was because Lord of the Rings. I had seen Lord of the Rings, and that inspired me because I noticed the way the different races, that's the elves, the dwarves, they were all fighting to stop the Sauron.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of that encompassed, mixed with, my desire to tell the different stories all in one universe. So yeah. So that's how I started making. I now produced the first comic book, which was launched in Lagos Comic Con in 2015. This is
Wow. Okay.
2022. Yeah, and people loved it. They liked it. We sold out, and that motivated me to go further. Yeah, so that's how we actually published the first comic. That's issue 0. If you go into the Rise of the Lazy now, that's the first one. You will see the first one we published. This was back in 2015. Yeah,
Wow.
if you scroll down, you see it. Yeah, that's the one. I drew that myself, everything from the beginning to the end. But it was colored by Jide Olusanya and a group of other guys that really worked out, helped me out at the time, because that was my first. I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't done comics professionally. I was still learning. So,
Right.
but I wanted to tell the story. Yeah, this was the
Right.
first. Yeah, you can click on it. It opens up.
All right.
Just click on the side. Okay, yeah, you can also do that. So I illustrated the book. It took me about a year to
Wow.
do 25, 28 pages, a whole year, because I was working.
Mm-hmm.
So I took my time to tell to draw it myself. And then I hadn't drawn for years, like 15, 20 years. I just started coming back. Yeah, I hadn't drawn for years. I was busy. I was going to school, work and all that. So
So you have talk to us a bit about this, like when you kind of came up with a story. Um, how did you do to draw it? What's your style? Is it all digital, or
yes,
is
it's
it
all
hand?
digital.
It's all
Yeah,
digital.
I can say I had some default issues with my art because okay, now everyone in my family can draw, they can paint,
Mm.
but I think it's in our DNA or something. Because my sister is a painter, and my sister is a medical doctor, is also an artist, but she doesn't draw that anymore. And our kids now are also drawing too. They're all painters. Yeah. So um so I was scared of oil color because I didn't know how my style used to mix colors and paint. So when I got an opportunity to get a Wacom tablet, I grabbed it. As this was back in 2009 or so. Then I was now, because I love computers, because so
Right.
yeah, then it was easier for me to draw frequently, because it was just yeah. So I it was all digital.
Right. And so you drew it out, you wrote it up. Do you have so what made you decide? Because one of the things, and you said this back in 2015. So fast forward, we're like 6 years later. You have all. How many titles do you have now? That's part of your company.
Uh, I gotta count. Yeah, you can. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's like 11, 12. But we're also working on the characters of Newborn. Newborn, there are 10 characters, right?
Right.
Building their stories. So that's even different. More that's an extra 10 more titles. So that's like 20.
Wow.
So then, yeah, and these are ideas I've had in my head, and some of them are we also have like three more that are coming from different writers.
Right.
So yeah, because the plan was to build, to create and to build uh, more stories in these platforms that I love, which is
Right.
video games, um, comics, and animation. That is so. I don't know. I can't help myself. I just once the story is good, we gotta draw it. Yeah.
So do you is that what do you see yourself doing it mostly, as you said, as these other titles here? How much of a hand do you have in these other titles? Because you do have a team of people that you work with.
Yes.
Do you write them all? Do you edit them all like a Stan Lee thing, or do you try to draw most of them?
No, no,
Art.
no.
So
I
what
don't
do you
draw
do?
anymore. I don't draw anymore. All I do is storyboards. Even
Okay.
like before you called me, as you can see, this is my real workbook,
Hmm.
and I'm actually storyboarding right now because this is some scenes from Chayoma. So whoever is watching labs, for issue 456, I'm still building. This is how I write.
Okay.
Yeah, I do the storyboards and I send it to the illustrator. Then he does what he needs to do. Yeah, so then I'll do like an explainer video that he does. Yeah,
Right.
because I don't have the time to draw because I'm trying to build the business and it's not easy.
Right.
It's when people see Marvel and DC, oh, they're massive brands, but it took a lot of work and years. Whatever I'm talking about them, they're something else. They've been there for 100 years, so let them just stay there. We want to bring new stuff, you understand? But learning the business is not easy. We're still learning. We're still trying to package it and
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. We have one of our card previous guest too, Merrick, just said, "Well, definitely check out the site. Please post a link." I'll do that, Merrick. I'll send the link into the chat so you can definitely check it out.
Yeah, you should check the Kickstarter too. Make sure they're very, very important.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
So one of the things is so you had how did you from that point where did you wrote your first one, published that issue 0, and then at what point did your organization kind of expand to have Segun, Isaiah, Jimmy, uh, all the other guys? At what point did they come on, and what is their role in your organization?
They're actually more than this. We're just updating the websites.
Oh,
We're
okay.
talking about 20 different people.
Oh,
Okay.
wow. Jeez
Yeah,
Louise. Okay.
yeah, and hopefully in the future it's going to be more because yeah, but it took time. Okay, you're asking the process, right?
Right.
From me to this guy, yeah, it took a lot of time. It took getting to know get right people to work with, and over time I met the right people to work with, and the oldest person that's worked with me on that is Isaiah.
Okay.
Isaiah Ovia Gibson. He's a talented storyteller. And he grew up studying history, of the world.
Hmm.
So he has really helped me a lot, to get closer to my vision. He's a super talented guy. Jimmy King is one of the most ruthless illustrators I've met. Yes, I've been working with him for about 3 years now, and we have such a beautiful relationship. We understand each other. So I just had to incorporate him. Shegun Ogunyomi is a wonderful painter. He painted Chayoma, yeah, the comic book.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah, he's such a beautiful. He has the vision, and because what our plan was to create a comic book, but it shouldn't look like comic book that already existed, like comic book coming from other companies, but it should look African,
Right.
So look, have that Saharan feel, yeah, that yeah. So yeah, these guys are yeah. So it took a while, it took a long time, a lot of pain, yeah, until we meet the right people. Yeah, that's Chayoma. So he painted it. Uh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can people can actually come to your website and actually look at look
Yes.
at these all now, right?
Yes. It's available to read. Yeah.
Okay.
A few pages though, but issue one is free. Issue two
Okay.
for a few pages. Issue three, some few pages. Yeah. So that we know our stuff is good. So once they read it, they like it, they buy
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's how you know you're doing something good. Make
Right.
sure that you test it. Let people buy it, spend their money. Then
Right.
yes, you're working on something.
So when we have some folks that are probably starting off or looking at doing something similar to you, and their question would be like, how did you go from one issue of Newborn? How did you find your writers and your artists? And that's the first question. And then my follow-up question for that is, how hard was it for you to give up some of the and where do you see your role in creating this your shared universe? How does that work for you as well?
Okay. The first one was how did I?
How did you find such talented writers and artists
Okay.
to
Yeah.
help you out?
Yeah, in Lagos, there's the Lagos Comic Con, and uh, there's also art schools like a place called Yaba Tech,
Mm,
university. You meet people that can, that like to draw, and from then, But there was a community already, that has been, I'll say existing of people that
mm,
actually want to do this. So I met them at Lagos Comic Con, and and over time. But I like Shegu. I met him in Abuja Comic Convention because I had to fly to Abuja to attend the first ever
mm.
uh, convention in Abuja. So that's why I met Shegu Ogunyemi, and we flowed, we talked, we spoke. He showed me what he could do. So wow, man, you gotta work. You understand? And these guys are natural artists. They can,
Right.
just like me. They love is part of their being. You understand? So what they need is, it's like an itch. You have to scratch. They need someone to scratch that, to just keep making them draw. Yeah. So, and that's so that's how I. So from that connection, you meet more people. You meet people that really really love to draw, and they think it as a career.
Right.
And yeah.
And so, what is your then? I guess to rephrase that second part of the question is like, where do you see what's your role in the other titles? Are
Okay.
you the and how much control and how much do you give to the writers and the artists to how much control do they have over the stories that are in the other titles?
Okay. Okay. For now, the newborn is the biggest universe that we have.
Okay.
It has a lot of characters. That is my creation. So
Okay.
what I do now is that, because I know there's no way, it's not humanly possible to write all that amount of work. It's not possible. So
Right.
yes, I do give writers to continue the story from the first issue that I create. Yes, and I give them a percentage on it because they are writing it, even though I still pay them,
Right.
because I believe in longevity.
Right.
I believe if someone works with you and he works around, he should get paid continuously because it's part of his life, and his, like I say, his spirit is part of that work that you've done. Yes.
So you have like already like uh newborn. There's 6 issues of it so far.
Yes. That makes up the graphic novel. I don't know if I
Wow.
have it here. Yeah, that was the second. Yeah, that was when we did. Okay, it's not here. I didn't bring it here.
Oh, okay.
All I have is just the Chayoma.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. This is we compiled the three together. And we'll soon be launching this. It's not out yet.
Oh,
It'll
wow.
be it's going to be the volume one because it's 128 pages right here. So
Wow.
this is the
Okay.
first sample that we got from the printers, and it was pretty good. This is all one, two, three together. So we'll soon be having this available for the public. Yeah.
Okay.
So the new one is 200 pages. Yeah, it was the first Kickstarter that I did. This is 2016, I think, 2016, 2017. Yeah,
Right.
and yeah, we're fully funded. Because of the nature of the story, it's expanded to 200 pages because it's a lot of characters, a lot of world. Because you have in the beginning of the book, you see that somewhere. The next thing they're in Morocco. Next thing you're in Kenya. Next thing you're in somewhere in West Africa. So we had to cover all that because Newborn is supposed to be, or meant to be, a book, a kind of a tour guide because it speaks volumes concerning the cultures.
Right.
Yeah, the cultures. That's what we're trying to preserve in the book.
Okay.
So there, when you go to issue 3, we show Princess Komi in her kingdom, and she's from the Ashanti Kingdom, which is present day Ghana. So there we showcase the king, their culture, their attire, which is very important. So the kids can see, oh, this is how this place was at that time. They had a king, then we mix it with history, because at the time the founder of the Ashanti kingdom, that's Akomfo Anoke and uh, Akonfo and Anoke, and there's another guy that was like a wizard, like a priest. So they
Okay.
came together and they formed that nation. You understand? Yeah.
Right. And these are this is the team of newborns,
Yes,
right?
yes,
All right.
the Mlazes, yeah, the Mlazes,
Yeah.
yeah. So they bear the power from the gods.
Oh,
So they are
cool.
born every generation, but they're only activated when there's an evil, when there's a celestial threat.
Oh, cool.
This time, yeah. So the threat now comes, so they have to go start looking for them. So it was, but then they didn't know, because people have forgotten the past, and all that. So it was just, it's a quest.
Right.
That's why the story goes, rise of the Lazy.
And how is this connected to your? How is this connected to the book that you're just launching now? Is that
Okay, no,
is
no,
that
no. Yeah, Olaji is a total different story.
okay?
Yeah, I'm not the kind of person or the kind of creator that just want to stick to one universe.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to create different stuff. That's why if you see about us, we do multi-universe.
Right.
So we have more stories coming up that are different universes. So I'm giving other writers opportunity to also showcase their stuff on my platform.
Okay.
They have their own ideas. But once the story is good, uh, you know, it's intriguing enough, it's interesting enough, it's suspenseful enough, then we publish it. So we're not sticking to like the standard, the the existing style is very popular, which is like the Marvel universe. You have all the different,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
which that can actually happen in a brand. Like the new one has its own universe.
Right.
Olaju is more like is a prehistoric story.
Okay.
So it showcases is way before in human beings. So it kind of ties it kind of ties into everything we do, because we're talking about the earth
Right.
in a very unusual way. Yeah, the story is about earth. Yes.
So talk to us a bit about this. What can I love? First of all, so what your role in here, was you were a writer for this, and also, or I need no artwork though. You
Okay,
did.
my role is I'm the concept creator,
Okay.
and I started writing it. Then Alexander Rudwex came on board, and it was like magic. He's so talented. He knew exactly how we should create the creatures, because I've been sketching them down already. Like if you go down, like if you go to the history of Olaju,
Right.
just go down. I think it's right underneath. You got to go down, 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 down.
No, no. You got a lot. This is a pretty expansive. Yeah.
Yeah,
Kickstarter. Good
yeah.
job.
I wanted people to really feel it, really take
Right.
your time, understand it, yeah, and enjoy this before you make your pledge. You understand?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't want I want to make sure that yes, yeah, we'll come back to the characters. We'll just
Right.
ahead. This is the history of Aladdin. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You gotta no
All right.
stop. Yeah.
All right. There it is. Yeah.
So the history of Olaju, yes. Before it was Olaju, it was called masquerades. I call them masquerades. I used to experiment with this, the masks and characters, cartoon form. As you can see them, that was me. I did that in 2015.
Right.
So then I called it mask. I even designed his own logo, a very unique logo. So at the time, but when I started seeing more, when you be in that realm of creativity and you start seeing more, and you want to make it African and make it real, you start to see things. And I decided, okay, the masquerades is too, it's like I put them in a box. And now, what would they be doing at that time? Because how are they going to be in present time, or they're going to be in the future, or in the past? So with the way the characters formed, I decided they should be like prehistoric. You know, but they're mythological creatures, and they were from according to the Igbo myth from my village. They live in the forest and they exist in the forest way before human beings. So all that kind of like for somebody to create this world, how would it be before man, and what were they doing? Because they're known to be earth builders.
Yeah.
Yeah, they cultivate the forest, they take care of the forest, you understand, and they literally kill anything that comes to disrupt the forest. They take you out. So yeah, they use it to tell bedtime stories for children. Don't go to the forest, or the Burusisi will catch you. So that they treat people. So now we use that. So that kind of helped me build the world and
Okay.
envision how it would be before man.
Yeah.
What they were doing. But it's a good mythology, and we just expanded on that. So when Alex came in, we now created so many characters, and it was a blessing because now we could now expand the universe. So we're now kind of joining heads, building the stories together to make it as epic and as interesting as possible for the readers. So these are the Kukoikas. The Kukoikas, yeah, we're creating all these characters. So, but we didn't just want to make it about them.
Mm.
We wanted to not create other characters to be like a functioning ecosystem, and they all have different roles to play to help build the earth for man. Because as the story goes in the comic, that Ashari, who is the mother creator, right? It was time to create man, so he employed the Borosisi to cultivate the earth. Then, of course, he had other creatures that were there to build the earth. Like this guy's the Mecha Poka. He's like a mushroom, but he's a green mushroom. Their job is to take care of the mushrooms. Now, most people don't know that mushrooms are very important to the environment. Do you know that mushrooms can actually heal the earth?
Mm.
Yeah, I did my research, and I understand that scientists have been working on that for a long time, and they're trying to make it a norm. Yes. Yeah. So we kind of use that as a tool to tell the story because these things have been existing way before us.
Yeah.
So they are the keepers of the mushroom.
Right.
Yeah, they protect, they make sure they nourish and all that.
Right.
Yeah. Then Nkatunga is also known as the beekeeper.
Yeah.
He's the only being that is empowered and entrusted, right, to take care of the bees, guide them, because the bees are one of the most essential creatures of creation.
Right.
Because that if bees disappear on Earth, we're dead in 6 months. Everybody, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, scientists are proving it. So he's the one that protects the bees and guides them, and the bees every time the eldest wants to ascend, the bees have to
Yeah.
be there for the coronation. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's Bakuzu, the guy right here, the guy on this.
Right there on your T-shirt.
Yeah, I think he's the most interesting character.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's the most interesting character. That's why we decided to make a nice design merchandise for the backers. Yeah.
Right. So what's the what give people kind of a summary of what the story is about?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. The story begins, of course, dawn of time. It was time to create the earth. We even did a motion graphic, motion video, so we can understand the story, right? So at this time, the processes were employed to cultivate the earth, prepare it for man, create everything. So their job is to plant the seeds, make them grow magically, create different roses, whatever, whatever. Then forest. So every generation, because they also pass on as well, the cycle of life, right? Because they are material beings, they're not spirit beings at this time. Right. So because you have to work with reality and be logical about it, it's unless it will look very artificial. So they for every generation, the eldest, who he's the knowledge keeper, must ascend at the time frame, so that he can replenish the land and pass on knowledge to the rest of the Impurosisi and also the oracle of creation. So in this generation, I don't know the date, I don't know the time, this guy decides not to ascend. But I'm not gonna say why. The readers have to find that out. Let me not spoil it for them, but you won't believe why he did that. Because maybe he's the 10th priest after like 1 million years,
Right.
something like that. Maybe. So during that time period, he has accumulated a lot of knowledge and power. So now it's his turn, and it's like, we're not going to do this cultivation no more. The earth is going to be our own. Yeah, so the chaos now begins, and the journey and the quest to restore balance now begins. Yeah. And that's how issue one started, right? Yeah.
Right. And how many issues do you see this? Is this going to be an ongoing series, or is this going to be a set amount of
Well,
series issues?
yeah, from is a quest, so it must have an end. So, but we're looking to add all the tropes and everything possible to make it very really good. And we started working on the comic book 2 years ago. Officially
Wow.
started working on it 2 years ago. Yes.
Okay.
But the work for the story building, the characters is over 10 years. So, but I didn't want to rush it, ahead because it's a very tricky story. Well, okay, what will they be doing? Ask myself, what will they be doing? So it took me time to tell it, to put all the pieces together, you know. So we're looking at least this volume one is about 5 chapters. Yes, and each chapter is about 20 pages, 25 pages. So that's what makes up a 1 to 8 page graphic novel. Yeah,
Mm.
we initially wanted to do it, release issue one to the publisher two. I said no, this would be better as a collector's item because we noticed the way the book is being created is being painted in a
Right.
certain way. It's not like the regular comic style, cell shading, style painting. It's painterly painted, like where you
Right.
stroke. Yeah. So
It's
that
beautiful. Yeah. I mean, the
yeah,
illustrations are beautiful.
yeah. That was the plan. That was the concept, so that you could feel nature at that time.
Right.
If we had the budget for a movie, then we would probably do a movie that everything looks real,
Right.
and all that, and do a lot of CGI. But since the comic, we had to paint it to look good and
Right.
nice and peaceful and beautiful because that's how the earth was before us, before we came and spoiled everything.
Right. Now,
You
what
know,
you're talking about, is this like digitally painted or like physically
yeah,
painted? Okay.
digital painting, yes, by
Yeah.
Shegu and Adesida. Very
Okay.
beautiful, super talented fellows in the state.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did you? So so with that said, what's the style that he uses? What kind of program is it? Photoshop? Is
Yeah,
it
Photoshop.
Illustrator?
Yeah,
Okay.
Photoshop and a couple of other. There's one called I forgot the name because I don't use it though, but he told me he uses it. Is it Crital? I forgot the name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I know Photoshop is the standard, is the
Right.
base of everything. Yeah.
Procreate? It wasn't Procreate.
Well, yeah, now I've started using Procreate because I got my iPad like just
Yeah.
before the pandemic, so I started using the Procreate, and I think I like it. It's pretty good. It's pretty good, and it's
Right.
handy. Yeah, but Procreate is basically for Apple, right? The ones that like in Africa, most people use Windows, not like in the
Right.
US, people use Apple more. So it's mostly Photoshop. Yeah, it's basically Photoshop. Then Autodesk Sketchbook Pro. I
Right.
started with that as well. Yeah.
So how about some tips and advice? I'm just wondering, it's like, because how do you fit all this in your day? And being able to, do you have do you have like like another job as well, or is this now your full time job doing this?
No, yeah, it's my full time job,
Okay.
but I'm a contractor for IBM. I do a lot of
Okay.
UX design, and all that. But yeah, but this is my full job,
So,
and
yeah, how do
apart
you
from-
get the time in? How do you, because there's a lot of stuff you're doing in here, like time management piece. What's some advice that you would give to somebody who says, Peter, this is great. I got, how do you get the time to do this? What are some of your suggestions and advice for people like
make time.
that?
That's how I do it. I make time for it because, and of course, making time is letting go of some things.
Right.
Yeah, you prioritize. What do you want to do in life? Do you want to do this? So because we all have a limited time every day.
Right.
or limited lifespan. So you have to choose what you want to do. You spend time doing. I love to create and draw and tell stories, so I'm going to spend more time doing that till the day I die. So you create time, you make time, and you make it happen.
Right. And so this is the third Kickstarter you've done, correct?
Yes, it's a third one. Yeah.
So what are some of the things that some advice, and what are some of the things that you implemented on this third Kickstarter that you wished you did on your first Kickstarter?
Oh, it's a lot. It's a lot. First of all, yeah, it's a lot because it's years. This is years of growth and
Right.
understanding reality, understanding people, understanding business. Which we're still learning, by the way.
Right.
So I would say definitely. When I did my first Kickstarter, I didn't even know how to do it or what it called publicity, getting people to know, building an audience before I even launch a Kickstarter. Yeah, then I just went straight to it because at the time when I was drawing the characters for Newborn, next I just saw a tag, then I followed the tag, and I saw afropunk. Afropunk is one of the biggest online social media platforms for underrepresented people.
Right.
So I was like, wow, I didn't know they existed, but they must have seen my work through Facebook and they now. So you know, but through that process, and I realized that you need to build an audience. You need
Mm.
to. So that's the major first step. I think anyone should do. Then, of course, if you're going to be doing Kickstarter, you should know that you have to try and make sure all of us, most of us are exposed already. We've been watching Hollywood since we're kids.
Right.
We've been comics since we're kids. So if you want to bring out something, I think try and bring out something unique and really good so that people can actually back you because they're not gonna back you if the stuff is not good or it's just basic. So you have to work on your craft. Try. I'm still working on my craft, but I think that's one of the major things. Then plus your marketing strategy, connecting your people, building your fan base, building your immediate your supporters. First. Then you're coming with a good product. So when it gets out there, people get to see that they like it and they patronize you.
Right.
Yeah. So those are the things that I just jumped straight in. I just put it out there, Kickstarter. It was really stressful. So and then of course and trying to be as detailed as possible and all that. Yeah.
Right. So let's talk a bit about some of your pledge levels here. So we're looking at so how many pages? 128 pages, you said, right?
Yeah.
128 pages. You have for that's a great deal for you're saying for $10 they get
Yeah. For the
128 pages.
yeah
Wow,
for the PDF. Yeah.
that's a awesome. That's a good deal. And then
Yeah.
you have for $13, it's basically that plus 3 digital posters as well.
Yeah, wallpapers for your phones,
Yeah.
and we actually, if you scroll down, you will see the rewards. So I think
Okay.
it's better so you see it visually. So if you
Right.
go down, 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 yeah, down, way down, yeah,
And that this is something new that I saw that I haven't seen in other places is your art lover. I like that.
yeah. The art lover, yeah. Some people were not really into comics, but they would love to buy a nice poster and frame it on their wall,
Right.
or they would like to, have stickers to put on their. Maybe they don't have time to read a comic, but they love art. They love great art. Okay, so that's it. That's the art lover. They get the posters, they get the stickers. Yeah.
Wow. That's like and so this is where so basically like this is your and then you have your $25 level, which is kind of like your bread and butter one. This is where you would get the
Yeah, you
actual
get the
book.
print of the book, yeah, and that's like the basic cost for a 100-page graphic novel anywhere.
Right,
So
exactly.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a standard price, yeah, cost for that amount of printing.
Yeah.
So it's $25. Yeah,
Yeah. And so how are
depending.
you looking at with them because this is about the this is for 30 it's going on for 30 days. So what do you do for some of the logistics pieces for the questions dealing with say like the shipping costs or like where with the delays in shipping because of the times we're living in right now? Is there anything any advice or things that any research you had to do to um, prepare for that for this Kickstarter as well?
Yeah, yeah, because I follow up on you because I use USPS for the
Right.
delivery, so I follow up with them, know get to know their rates and on the weights and all that. Of course, there's a lot of shipping issues around around the world because of the pandemic and all that.
Right.
So, but they're doing their best. They're really working hard to make sure they keep doing what they need to do. So yeah, you follow up on on your the current service you want to deal with. Know their rates, know their timing, know all that. Yeah, so I'm prepared. Like, but I'm already used to it because a lot of people buy comics from my website. So I'm always
Oh,
sending.
right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so I know the rate, I know the cost, I know the timing and everything. So
Right.
yeah.
Because you have those, and you have those already, and
Yes, yes. Yeah, we print a specific amount we keep for those that buy from the website. So we deliver whenever they buy, we deliver whenever we deliver. So
right.
we know the costing, we know the logistics behind
Okay.
printing 1 million copies, one copy, 10,000 copies, yeah, and also shipping them, at a specific rate. Yeah.
And you have here like your $32 level. People can get the book. Also, some two beautiful posters and some
Mm-hmm.
stickers as well.
Yes, yeah, stickers, yeah.
Yeah. And I like this one here. This is really interesting. I haven't seen this much
Oh, the
before.
one with with the art book, right?
Yeah, the art book. Talk to
Yeah,
us about that.
yeah, the art book is a compilation of the art black and white. Because we want people to also see the art without the painting because it's painted, right? So you don't get to see the line art. So we now created a nice book that will showcase the pencils, that's the lines of Alexander Rudwek's Igoja. Yeah, so he's the illustrator. So we'll make sure yes that's him right here. Yeah, he's a genius. He's a genius. He's why I said is he's on another level. Yeah, yeah. So he's an illustrator, and so I just had to do that so people can see his work. It's
Right.
beautiful. Mm.
And we have, and then right here, talk to us about this right here. This is like the $42 power digital level. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Here you get all. That's the comics you see there because there's not all our comics are there, but the major ones, which is the newborn, Jin Chayoma and Mbuze, and these are all award winning. Except for Chayoma. But Chayoma is a fan favorite. People love Chayoma. We got over 300 backers. We did. We followed it one day. It was people loved that one. It was very hyper. It was fire. So we just compiled that one plus Olaju. So everything's about 650 or above, about 650 pages plus
Wow.
of reading, enjoyment, pleasure.
650 pages for 42
Yes,
bucks.
yeah,
Over.
over
Wow.
650 pages. Yeah, because the new one is 200 pages.
Yeah.
Then Mbuze and it was about another 60 to 100 pages. Then the other one's about almost 150. The largest coming around 128. So it's I don't even want to count it.
Yeah, you're knocking on probably 800
Yeah,
pages on
I
there.
just say
Yeah.
650. Yeah, just enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have the $45 level where you buy one and get one for a friend for
Yes,
10%
yeah,
off.
yeah. A
Okay.
couple of backers like that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's an option. People don't really think about it, but you're giving them options. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can buy for someone and buy for someone else.
Yeah.
Yes. With a
And
10% discount.
right. And right here you get for $55, you get the book, you get a print, you get a t-shirt, you get stickers, you get a printed posters. This right here, thinking about it from this perspective, is $55. That's a meal. I like if you get going out on a restaurant. And
Yes, yes, it's a meal.
this
Or
is
you
an
get this.
entire thing. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
basically for the more frugal person, for someone that's wanting to save money, you can split this up to a couple different birthday presents if you wanted
Yeah,
to. So
correct.
yeah,
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 for your kids, for people, and yeah, of course,
yeah,
this is a keeper. It's something you keep. Apart
right,
from the story, the artwork is amazing, and t-shirts is something you can wear for like as long as you can maintain your
right,
t-shirt. And the stickers they stick on in whatever you want. So it's more fun spending the $55 on
right,
this, or something like this. Yeah,
right,
it's worth the money.
yeah.
Yeah, because yeah.
And it's
Then
the
the
same right
$80.
here at your $80 level, but you get the hoodie with this one, right?
Yes, yeah, because hoodies are more expensive to produce.
Right.
They are,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's why it's more expensive. And yeah, but you get the same thing, but just the hoodie.
Right. And then you get the hair also at $80. You can get, just the t-shirt and the t-shirt and the hoodie.
Yeah, the apparel collector. If you like nice graphic designs on clothes like t-shirts and hoodies, yeah, that's the level for you. If you're not into comics or you
Right.
just want to get to wear something new and fresh, something. Yeah.
And this right here, $95, you get all the basically it's the digital version, but it's the digital version of the
Yeah,
physical version of
the
the digital
printed,
version.
the physical printed version of the digital. But yeah, you get all the books on the campaign printed, nicely packaged, and sent to you for $95, which is a very good deal.
That's an amazing deal. And
Yes,
the best part about this is that you already have 3 backers on here. That means that's 3 new
yeah,
readers that you
yes, yeah. Because they want it, they've not read it, so you get to get our you immerse yourself in our own visions and creativity.
Yeah. So this is fun. Talk to us about this. This with that for $130, you get basically all the posters, all the stickers, and a 3D burst collectible. How did you
Yes.
find that? How did you get that?
Okay, yeah. I worked with I've forgotten the name. We first, of course, Alex Alexander.
Right.
I wanted something that was catchy because the characters are very cute and they're very handy.
Yeah.
And they look like stuff that will toys that kids will love and people will like. You can put them on your anyone can like it, and I put it on. Yeah, it's an artifact.
Right.
So because of the way the characters are. So we decided to make a 3D. We got a 3D printer. Of course, we first did the 3D design,
Right.
in 3D, and we printed it. And it came out very nicely. If you go up, you will see a live sample of it. That's
Okay.
it's faster that way. You just slide it up. Yeah, it's faster like that. Yeah, move faster. Yeah, that's
There
it.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a spinning. Yeah, that was a live. That's actually a printed one. So it's just
Wow.
spinning. Yeah, and it shows, as you can see. Yeah, that's a picture on my table, but that's the that's it right there.
Right.
That's a real live, beautiful. It's very unique. It's something that probably 100 years from now, they're like, oh, was it worshipped in the village? It's worth $1 million. Who knows? So we had that, and you get that printed, and you get your own sweet collectible plus some nice extra stickers.
Is there a limit on that? There's no limit on that.
Sorry.
There's no limit to
No, because they're ready for production. Because to print it, it's already made. It's just to print. Yeah, we've already done the work.
Right. And then you have here, basically on here, you have the power print and merch level. So it's basically the print and the merchandise from the previous tier on this one.
Yeah. Yes. Now this power print, you now get both T-shirts.
Okay.
The book and beautiful posters, well illustrated, painted, and you get 2 stickers.
Okay.
Stickers are very tedious to make. Right. That's what people don't understand. You can't make so much. Right. You spend a lot of money, so we have to kind of be frugal. Right. Yeah. So this one is a power print and make level 2. Yes, you get everything plus the.
Wow.
Yeah.
You get the sculpture, you get the hoodie, the T-shirt, the posters, the art book, all the stickers, the book. Wow. All right. Yeah. And then this is something that people always talk about a lot. They like the retail version. People like the retail version.
Yeah, we give them a good deal for 20 for 20 books. It's a very sweet deal. $200, they get 20, well discounted, so they can make their own money. Yeah. So. Yeah.
And then you have this mega bundle. Basically, is your 350. That's like basically everything. Right.
Yeah, that's a special bundle pack. Yeah, you get everything. Yeah, you get everything. Everything. Yeah, you get it. Wow. The printed version, all posters, extra stickers, then the figurine, and of course the book itself, plus other title books. So
Right.
yeah, it's a sweet deal. It's a
Right.
sweet. Yeah.
Do you have do you see, because you've done this in the past? Do you see any challenges in the shipping costs, at least when you have anything that's not flat, like adding in the T-shirts and the sculpture?
Yeah, yes. I got my experience because I did it was like Chayoma,
Right.
similar. I did something similar for Chayoma, the previous
Right.
Kickstarter we did, which was one of our most successful brands. We had a tier, it was 200, but that was the highest though. We did a $200 tier
Right.
when we had all the books, the T-shirts, the posters, the stickers. Yeah, so from that you will know the weight of
Right.
the and I weighed it myself before I put the then I follow up with USPS to make sure everything tallies. So even though we the cheaper the shipping
Yeah.
is a difference. It's either $2-3 different, higher or lower. So we can always balance that with the cost with the little profit we make from the brand from each product itself. So it's
Okay.
yeah. So
Well, I gotta say, Danny Center, one of our favorite viewers, just said, "Wow, he's very impressed with that bundle there." So,
yeah, the bundle. Well, you're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun. That's over almost 1,000 pages of beautiful, unique stories, and you have your art books, you have your stickers, and the stickers are so much fun. You know,
right,
even I keep stickers from other comic Kickstarters. Like I also back up. Like, see, it's so much fun when you place them on your workbook or your laptop. These are other
right,
brands.
yeah,
Like this is one of my favorite. I love these guys.
yeah,
The name. Yeah, even so, stickers are fun.
right,
I get them a lot
yeah,
from Kickstarters that I also back myself.
right.
Yeah. This one has now included the Lazy T-shirt. So you get
Oh,
3 uppers.
wow,
Yeah.
another
As
T-shirt
a
too.
newborn, yeah, you get it. You get it. Then you get I think you can get a phone call. You can get
A Zoom
yeah, your
call with the
name
team.
now goes
All
to
right,
special part, like the special part of the book. That means the name will not be in front.
right.
But yeah, in the beginning of the book as special thanks. Then you have the
Okay,
other one, which is the biggest one. Yeah.
$750.
When
You
you
can
have
get
it,
everything times two, basically.
yeah, times two. Yeah. So and it's cheaper now. So if you have someone you want to give it to, family member, if you want to, have a special person you want to buy it out for, yeah, the
Wow,
person is going to be so happy.
yeah,
Yeah. And it's a lot cheaper than having just one.
right.
And
Wow,
you get a Zoom call with the team.
get a Zoom call with the team. There you go.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow, that is awesome, Peter. This is, and like I say, you're already about halfway already. So we already had one backer join since we started. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, congratulate. I mean, this is exciting stuff, and I'm sure I'm gonna have to back it because it's has the Igbo culture on there.
Yes.
So
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
It's there's so much knowledge
right,
about Africa that the world doesn't know. So my mission was to do as much as I can to tell
right,
them into stories. Of course, to do movies are pretty expensive.
yeah,
You have to be in the industry for a long time.
right,
So I had to commercialize, start making comics.
right.
Yeah,
Well, so make sure. Hey, so Peter, on your next Kickstarter, come back on the show. I'd love to
definitely.
talk more. You got a lot of titles and a lot of characters that we
And
can
there's a
talk
whole lot
about.
more coming.
Yeah,
One thing we take our time to make
yeah,
sure we bring out quality stuff. Yeah.
yeah. Perfect. Well, thanks again, Peter. It was such a fun
Thanks,
chat.
Barney. And I
Yeah.
want to say, yeah, your name Barney. I grew up with it, Barney,
The
the.
purple dinosaur.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm not the only person that tells you that.
Yeah.
So, Barney, I love Barney so much,
Yeah.
So when I saw her name, I was like, oh, hello, my friend, because I
Yeah.
already know my head on a good place, So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Well, thank you so much, Peter, and looking forward to checking out your Kickstarter.
Oh, please, I'll be waiting for your pledge. Thank you so
All right.
much.
Thank you very much. Wow. So you know what, we already hit our hour mark, Peter. So
Okay.
yeah. What did you had? Oh, you got another. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there are two more.
Two more. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. This